Ho, ho, ho. Welcome back to Northlight Photographic Workshops, and happy holidays to you. I was thinking about doing this year-end thing, and I went back to look to see what I had said last year, and I realized that I hadn't done this since 2021. It's the end of 2024 here, so my apologies for that. Anyway, I'd like to just kind of recap the year and thank you for being such a valued member of the whole community that I've been working on here. It's been really great to get all of this mail and all of these comments on the video from so many people that have been enjoying these videos, not only but learning from them as well and doing their own thing at home. It's really rewarding. And not only that, but I've been doing workshops around the country now, and you'd be surprised, every workshop people have known me through these videos, and they've used them and they've watched them over and over again, and it's just really heartening and really I just am really thankful for it and so glad that you're part of this. And I'm gonna just keep doing it. It's so much fun. I realized 4 years, it's been a long time since I've been at this. I went back to look at my original manifesto video that you can still see at the beginning on the homepage to the YouTube channel. But it's remarkable how many of the things that I did, I was kind of green back then thinking I'm going to do all these videos on all these different processes and continue it on. And I really have done it, it's been a lot of fun. And you've been a big part of that, because if you weren't out there watching it and, thousands of other people, I wouldn't be doing it. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do something and then see some effect from it, cause and effect. So thank you for watching, and I hope you will continue to watch. And as I'm recording this, which is September 21st, what am I talking about? December 21st, the solstice, it is also closing in on 10,000 subscribers on this channel. I think I'm somewhere around 9,800 something as I'm recording this, and I was really hoping to make that 10,000 before the end of the year, but maybe I won't make that, maybe I will make that. Maybe you can help me make that by telling a friend about it or subscribing if you haven't already done so. It would really mean a lot to me, and it would help out a lot. When I started this out, I thought that I'd get a few hundred people that would be interested in it, and to think that there's 10,000 people out there, and to watch how much, watch the statistics and how many people watch it and how many hours get watched. And it's amazing to me, the first year I did this, I was hoping to get 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, so that I could, get monetized with it, which is a pittance anyway, but it's something to work for. And I'll be darned if, now I'm not getting that 3,000 watch hours every day practically. So it's really great. You guys are fantastic, and can't thank you enough for it. I'd like to take this time also to not only talk about what I did or what we've done in this past year, but to talk about what's going to be coming up, and I'll be getting to that in a minute as well. But just looking back over on this year has been pretty amazing. Winter as it is right now, we're kind of in deep winter up here where I am in northern Michigan. It's always a little bit, it's isolating, and you kind of wonder what you're going to be doing for the next year, and it just seems like, it's going to be dark forever, but it's really not that way. And I've learned to really work on new things, and there's a lot of new things that I've been doing that I'll talk about here in a minute as well. But I did want to just talk about what we did this year. And I started off, like I say, in the winter time, just kind of in the winter doldrums, and planning towards the Faroe Islands trip, which was my first trip of the year that I led. And we worked up to that and pulled it off, and it was a fantastic trip, really good time. And then it seemed that no sooner did I get back that I was teaching another workshop or running another workshop here. And then Photostock came up soon after that. And, this last year we had Jerry Spagnoli, who was fantastic, the famous daguerreotypist. And Jerry was great to have around here, and he did a fantastic presentation. And we had some other people that did their presentations, Rebecca Zeiss and, oh man, it's just escaping me right now because it's been such a blur. But it was such a good one. And so, you know, that got me planning to this year already. And so, you know, I've got some good people coming this year that I wanted to talk about soon. But then there was Photostock, and then, you know, it came up towards the end of the year or the end of the season, and did another trip to Iceland, which was a really good time, leading it kind of a private trip for some friends. And then after that, it was back here for another workshop, and then out to Yosemite to help out my good friend Kara Kuklis. And, you know, the workshops I did this year, I was out in Yosemite twice at the Ansel Adams Gallery. Then I was down in North Carolina working with Clay Harmon at his studio, Mountain Intaglio studio. We had a workshop there, Gum Over Platinum, which was fantastic, and we're going to repeat this next coming March. But yeah, it was just one thing after another, and for a guy with old bones like me now, it was pretty good, you know. I mean, got to keep active, and that's the thing, is that I'm talking with all my friends, and we're all becoming a certain age, you know, and we're all still in relatively good health, and, you know, but writing's on the wall, and it's time to start doing some things, and, you know, lo and behold, we're doing them. It's been really great. I've been hanging out this year with, like I say, great Kara Kuklis, and also Clay Harmon, and Jerry Spagnoli, and, you know, everybody that is part of this community that I cherish and now am wonderful. I mean, that I cherish and that I am so honored to be a part of. So yeah, and so coming up for next year, you know, there's quite a few workshops in line. I've got 2 trips going to be in North Wales this year, which is the first time I've run a trip in North Wales. My family, I have deep connections there, and I've been there many times, but I've always wanted to run a trip there, and so this year I just decided, you know, I've been to Iceland a lot of times, and I've been to Faroe Islands a lot of times, and other places, so it's time to start leading some trips elsewhere. And this year we're doing, like I say, we're doing Wales. Already have 1 week of that is filled up. The next week is half full, but there'll be a link below for you to look at if you're interested in going on one of those trips. Yeah, that's going to be fun. And I have several other workshops coming up. I'm going to be helping out with my friend Kara Kuklis down in Penland on a workshop, and I'm not sure when that is yet, so I'll keep you tuned on that. Again, I'll be doing the one down at Clay Harmon's. I believe it's this coming March 20th to the 23rd of 2025. So again, look below. I'll have some of those links below. Let's see what else. And there's some other trips that I'm working on that I'm, you know, not going to talk about yet because I don't want to hold myself to it. Now there's also Photostock coming up next year, which is going to be fantastic. My old friend and mentor, Alan McQueenie, is going to be part of this one. He's coming from New York City, and I've known Alan for many, many years now. When I was just a young buck, he took me on in New York City to be an assistant for him. And you know, Alan's now getting up there in his 80s, and I'm up there in my 60s, and it's time to start doing some things. And you know, I've always wanted to get him to come out to Photostock, and I called him near the end of this last year, and he said that he was definitely willing to come. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be very special. Alan is definitely in the upper shelf, the top league of photographers, and it'll be wonderful to have him not only here to hang out with him, but have him here to be a presenter at the event. I've also got a workshop that I'm working on for that period, for that time, with the great animator Eben Ostby. Eben is known for such things as Cars and Buzz Lightyear and things like that. He was with Pixar for many years and is now retired, and he is a fantastic photographer. He not only makes some of his own cameras and things, but he also is become very proficient in the calotype process, where you're photographing with paper negatives. You're actually using large format cameras to make negatives on paper and then printing them. So that's going to be fantastic. Now that's going to be in June again. I don't have the date specific, but if you stick with me and maybe get on my subscription list, you'll you'll get that specifically. I believe it's like June 16th to the 19th this year is we're going to be having Eben here. I'm also working with Dan Burkholder for an autumn trip up here, an autumn iPhoneography workshop that Dan does fantastically. And anyway, so that's one that I'll be announcing pretty soon. I don't have the date set, but that one I would definitely be on if you're interested because he fills up really quick. I'm also working with Jerry Spagnoli, who was here last year. I'm going to be hoping to get him up here for a daguerreotype workshop, which again will be announced at some point further. And also, one of the first people to ever do a workshop in this facility was Holly Roberts from down in the Southwest. And Holly has been just kicking butt lately, and she's had a museum show out in San Diego, and her work is just continuing to get more and more fantastic, I think. And I would really love to get Holly back, and I've kind of hinted with her that I'd like to get her back here, and she seems to be willing. So again, all of these things I'm hoping for in the new year. What I suggest you do if you're interested is to get on my subscription list, and it's just billschwab.com/subscribe, or look down below in my in the description here for the link, and get on my subscription list. You know, I put out, you know, various newsletters about different print offerings and different trips that I offer and things like that, and different workshops that are offered. So I always send out that notice to my workshop list or to my subscription list first. So, you know, if you don't mind a few emails, I know we get bombarded with emails, but you know, I promise not to abuse it. I'm going to be starting a whole new kind of a thing this year where I'm going to be sending out a newsletter every little once in a while where I'm going to take one of my old photographs, not necessarily anything that I'm known for, but just an old photograph from somewhere in my history, in my archive, and I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about it. And that's going to be called Peripheral Vision. And, you know, somebody's probably used the name, who cares, but it's just, you know, it's not about necessarily the photograph itself, but it's about the event that made the photograph, or the story that came with the photograph, or something that maybe happened to me while I was making that photograph. In any event, I think it might be kind of fun. I was doing something similar on Instagram back during the pandemic, and I just kind of lost track of it, but I think this might be a good way to follow up on that and to continue it. So yeah, and some other things that's coming up is I'm going to be changing, you know, some of you might have come to me through the digital negative series, and there was a print combo with a digital negative that I offered on there as kind of a, you know, a demonstration thing, or as a, you know, something for you to have to look at to compare yours with. And I've been doing the same print for 3 or 4 years, and I'm kind of tired of that print, and I'm going to be doing a new one for that. So for any of you that are thinking about that, and you know, in the digital negative series, or you know, finding out about, you know, what it's like to have a digital negative and what the print looks like from that negative, I'll be changing that print up. So I'm hoping people won't mind, and maybe some of you that have already purchased that in the past might want the next print too. So look for that happening pretty soon. Another thing is that I'm going to be doing soon after this video, I'm going to be working on another gum over platinum video where I'm going to take a print from an image that I made most recently out in Yosemite back in November with, I was out there, like again, I was out there teaching with Kara Kuklis at the Ansel Adams Gallery. And I did this image, which is the 3 oak trees, and it's in, out in the valley there. It was at Morning Frost, and I've just begun to love printing this print, and I'm making tons of them, and I just really have not that many outlets for those prints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making a smaller version of this, and I'm going to be offering it up through a video coming up here pretty soon. But if you want to see it right now, you can go down at the link below. There's going to be there's going to be an offer for this print down there. Now this is going to be something that's going to stand for quite some time. I'm not going to be, you know, only offering it for a certain amount of time. It'll be much like the negative print offering. And so it's going to be more like a guide print for those of you working with platinum, and also in particular gum over platinum. Because it's a really nice print with a real full range of tones, and most of all, it's fun for me to make. So look for that again real soon, and well, actually look for the link below, but look for a video about this soon. I'm also going to be getting into another process. I know I'm getting known for more alternative processes, and this is somewhat of an alternative process, but it's using more modern technology. I'm going to get a little bit into dye sublimation. Also, I've been having a lot of fun doing some dye sub work, and as you can see here, I've done a mug, and I've done this series of Detroit work of some of my old Detroit photographs on a mug using dye sublimation, which is permanent. It's actually really gorgeous, and it's fun to do them because it's more like developing a photograph in a tray, much the same as that, I peel the paper off after I've sublimated it, and it's like, wow, look at that. It's like developing it in a tray, as I said. There's so many things that you can do with that, with the dye sublimation photographically, and I'll be showing you some of that as well, and that includes putting them on metal, and they're quite remarkable. Again, I'll be getting to some of that kind of thing this year. And also, as far as products, I'm going to be getting some products out there for everybody now. Isn't that the way it goes? Merch. But a lot of people have been asking about different things, specifically contact printing frame. And I've gotten with a friend of mine, and he does these, his name is, anyway. And I've gotten with this friend of mine, he has a company that he calls Rustic Breeze Creations. It's my good friend Steve. Steve lives down the hill from me, and he makes these contact printing frames for me. And they're really good. He makes them to my design, and over the years, we've gone through several of them, and we're finally ready to offer them up to people because he's got it down pat. And we have these little brass channels in here so that the wood doesn't wear out, and the springs are real nice and really nice hinged, and the coating on it's a rubberized coating on the print surface here. Anyway, they're a really nice frame, and we're going to be offering that up. It's got little feet on here, which are really nice. But that's going to be offered up really soon. You can see a link to this pretty soon. I'm going to be doing a video about this in particular, but a lot of people have been asking me about the print frames, and this is the one that I use specifically. And I've got several that I work with now. And anyway, they fit perfectly. A 22 by 30 sheet of paper, I tend to tear it down into 6 sheets, and each sheet fits in here pretty perfectly, and that way I don't have to trim it any afterward. So yeah, these are going to be going online here real soon, and a couple of other little things which are fun, just some shot glasses. Anybody that or any of you, if you're an alternative process printer, that you use a shot glass all the time to mix up your chemistry and to pour it out. And I got to thinking, I had my favorite ones, and I got to thinking it'd be fun to do one and put the Northlight Photographic Workshops brand on there. So what I did is I took the Palladium Elemental symbol and I put it on one of them, which is fun. And then on the other one, I've got my new motto here, which is I print, therefore I am. So these are going to be available soon too. So anyway, got to do a little self-promotion there, right? So anyway, again, thank you all for being part of this. Again, my Patreon has become a big thing for me this year too. I've been putting a lot of effort into that, and I've been getting a bigger following on Patreon, which is really fun. And if you're one of those people that's been so generous as to join up, thank you again so much there. And if you haven't done that, or if you haven't even seen that, I'll leave a link below for my Patreon as well. And in there, I have all of my videos linked. I have them categorized. I have formulas in there in PDF form. And so everything is categorized a little bit more than here on YouTube, because YouTube tends to be a little haphazard in the way that it links things together. So it might be hard for you to find certain things that I've done, whereas on the Patreon, you can get in there right away. So anyway, give some thought to that. And again, those of you that are members, thank you very much. That makes a big deal, and it makes it possible for me to do a lot of these videos and to spend the time on them. So yeah, and then the other thing is I'm going to keep doing my trip videos. Some of you have seen the Superior trip, which I've just finally gotten part 3 up on. So that's part 1, part 2, 3. You know, it became more about driving around Superior in my electric truck, I think, than anything, but I had a blast doing it, and it was a lot of fun, and I did some great imagery on it that I was really happy with as well. And actually, looking back over the 3 videos, I'm really proud of them also. So I hope you've seen them, and if you haven't, have a look. And thanks again for your time. Thanks again for everything. Thanks for such a great 2024, and here's to a fantastic 2025. I hope you'll stick with me. And again, let's hit that 10,000 mark by the end of the year if we can, all right? Ho, 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 Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all of that. And take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.